Hello traders, welcome to ChrisFX. Today I'm going to talk about the top 3 tips for trading success, and if you keep following those 3 tips while also having a good strategy, then success is absolutely inevitable. I will begin with tip number 3, let's say number 1 in this occasion, because it will be the most important tip. I will probably receive a lot of hate, but I have shown countless of proofs on how I'm passing challenges and how I'm recovering drawdowns, also how I'm having withdrawals just by using this one simple tip. And this tip is none other than closing partial profits, guys. What I'm doing, and this helps tremendously with my own psychology. As an example, let's say that we are inside this trade right here. When price reaches a point of interest, let's say this order block right here, or 1-to-1 reward to risk, I will be going ahead and I will be closing half of my position. Trust me, in those examples that I'm showing you right here, you might be saying that this is silly, because in retrospect those trades run for a 3, 4, 10-to-1 reward to risk, but in real conditions, and when you will not be able to get your daily bias right or the overall bias right, even those movements will give you a profit. Those days and those months will come, and what you want is to have a steady curve and a steady income. So what I'm doing, when my trade is going to 1-to-1 reward to risk, I'm closing half of the position. And when there are no other points of interest left, such as fair value gaps, in this occasion below my entry, I will be moving my stop loss at break even. Now, since we closed 50% at 1-to-1, we have won. Let's suppose that we are risking, even though I'm not doing that, this will be another tip of the 3 tips that I'm going to be talking about. Let's say that I'm risking 1%, just to be very clear. Here we have closed 0.5% win, and we let the rest of the trade run. Now, when the trade makes it up here, you can either close the rest 50%, and this would give you a beautiful 0.5 times 3.74, another 1.87%. Okay, so 1.87% you would get exactly right here. So overall in this movement you would be getting plus 2.37%, but you can also close the 25% here. Another thing that you can do, these are all tips that I wish somebody would be telling me. Okay, so you can close 0.9 here. Okay, and then for the rest, if you have a very strong bias, you can go ahead and target here or up here for a 10-to-1 from the daily perspective, which will give you another 2.5 plus 2.5%. So this one, if you would trade it like that, instead of getting a 10-to-1, you would be getting a 0.9 plus a 2.5 plus a 0.5 that we had. This would give you a 4%, let's say, instead of a 10%. But look what we have done here. Now, if we were to be traders that we are not affected by psychology at all, you might say that with a strategy such as the one that I have, and I'm proving it day in, day out in the signal service extremely transparently, you might say, why not let this one run until here and earn a 6%, for example? I will tell you why. Because we are human beings, and want it or not, psychological factors influence us, and it is always nice if you know that you have made something out of your move. Now, if this move comes all the way back and stops you out at break even, at least you have won 0.5%. Now, these wins, guys, these wins accumulate with the partial profits, and they accumulate a lot. And when I say they accumulate, they can pass you funded accounts, they can give you huge cash outs. So forget about what other traders are saying, that I enter here and I'm going for a fixed 3-to-1 reward to risk. First of all, their strategies are not winning even close to our strategy, and this is a proof on how I recovered this drawdown, on which, yes, I was down this 3.8%, You know why? Because I started risking aggressively 1% and 1.5%, and I started with a drawdown after 14 consecutive winners. We started with the 2 first weeks of August, they were in drawdown. And then I made everything back by risking 0.4% per trade right here. So even us that we are having a winning percentage of 71% and above, you can see that I am closing partial profits. I'm never gonna tell you go ahead and go for a fixed 4-to-1 reward to risk. You will not be able, 99% of the times, you will not be able to handle this thing psychologically. So remember my first tip. Small wins accumulate. If you have a high winning percentage, as we have right here, you don't need a huge reward to risk in order to win. You can be closing partials along the way, and when a move reaches, let's say, 4-to-1 RR, it is fine if you make 2-to-1 RR. If you are winning that much, this is a ticket to success. If you want to learn more about it, one-on-one mentoring is there, the signals group is there. If you don't want to learn more about it, there's no problem at all. Tip number 2, guys, and let me move forward with this beautiful trade, which also hit the weekly high. This is a trade that is a very good example, and I'm teaching it on the one-on-one as well. Of course, I have hundreds of more examples of trades that we took. So tip number 1, close partials, 50% at 1-to-1 RR, then target areas of liquidity. Okay, this is the first one. I'm gonna put it with number 3 though, because I need to talk about 2 separate things, which are gonna be number 1 and 2. Why did I talk about that first? Because in my opinion, this is what most of you are lacking. You are being greedy and you are not closing profits. You are listening to all of those YouTubers who are telling you, we enter here, boom, 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 and we are going for a 5-to-1, and they're showing you pre-recorded examples. Face the reality. Most of those people cannot trade. Most of those funded people cannot trade. They have purchased accounts which are worth, let's say, in total $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and they have made $30,000. They are in a massive loss. They cannot trade. Let's move forward. Number 1, have a trading plan, guys. Of course, I'm not gonna be talking about strategy, because if you don't have the strategy, then the trading plan is not gonna do anything for you. And what is a trading plan besides your strategy? What strategy am I going to use? Okay, B, and this is gonna be a part of tip number 2, how much will I be risking? So this means that you already know what percentage, what winning percentage your strategy is giving. See, when am I going to be trading? So what times do you have available to trade? Are you planning to trade specific hours within the day? As an example, I'm trading almost the whole day. What does this mean? This means that when we see price coming in areas of interest, according to our bias, we are looking for the rules that I'm teaching, and we are taking the trade if it fulfills our rules, no matter if it is within, let's say, silver bullet hours or whatever bullet hours you might think of. The market is there the whole day, and the algorithm is not looking at silver bullet and other types of hours. It is just that the algorithm is giving more impulsive moves within these hours for some reason that we don't know. This doesn't mean that it gives you the good opportunities within these hours. And number 2, guys, has to do with B of the trading plan. What I am doing, I am not risking more than 0.4% of the whole balance. So if you want to go and just trade one of the strategies that you see on YouTube, especially those strategies that these silver bullet guys are showing, I know that I have such strategies as well, but if you are to go ahead and trade them, listen to what I will say before you judge me. With a 1% risk, good luck when you hit the drawdown. You will lose 15 consecutive trades in a row, and you will be blowing your account 1,000,000%. So do not risk any more than 0.4%. What I'm doing for the funded account, I'm going ahead and I'm risking 0.2%, even though my strategy is hitting above 70%. Okay, Why am I doing that now? You might ask, Chris, this is silly. If you are winning that much, why are you risking only this much? Because guys, as I explained to those people that we are doing one-on-one mentoring with, this is the highest threshold that I'm willing to let the trades run on. So when I'm risking 0.2% of my balance, I'm feeling extremely confident letting the rest 50% of the trade run to 4-1, for example. But if I go ahead and risk 1%, me personally, as Chris, I will be willing to close the whole trade at 1-1 RR. And a good trader understands his own psychology. It doesn't mean that if you are a good trader, then you have to have a psychology which allows you to let the trades run. This is wrong. You have to have a strategy which is adjusted to your own psychology. You will not adjust your psychology. You will adjust the strategy and the trading plan to your own psychology in order to become profitable. Okay. And for challenge accounts, I'm going for 0.4%. So let's recap things, guys. Have a trading plan which entails which strategy am I going to use. Okay, you have to have a strategy which is giving a statistical advantage. How much will I be risking? And this brings us to number 2, not risking more than 0.4%. For me personally, you have to find your threshold, which number allows you to let the rest of your trade run, or your whole trade if you are not willing to close part of the trade, and see when am I going to be trading, which means what times am I going to be trading, in other words. Okay. And 3, guys, again, my advice to you, the most important advice, close partials. I'm doing almost always, let's not say always, 50% at 1-1, or when there is a very impulsive movement, I'm closing at 1.5 or at 2-1, the 50%. When I see very impulsive candlesticks, this gives me another advantage, and then I'm targeting other areas of liquidity which are way higher. I'm moving usually my stop loss at break even, and then I'm targeting other areas. This way, it also has a psychological effect. In case that the trade comes against me, I'm very happy that I have closed something and that I didn't let the trade run. Maybe also some of you are letting the trade come all the way back and give you a loss on top of all of those. And yes, I understand that you can make a strategy. As an example here, this trade went for more than 14-1, let's say. Okay, these are real trades that we took. So this went at 17-1. So you could easily go for a fixed 5-1. You will see that. Let's go further. This trade, we took it right here. If we would let it, it would have gone for 13-1. So easily a 5-1. This trade that I took right here went for this is enormous. This trade went to a 12-1. So I could have let it run 5-1. This also would have hit a 5-1, and you might say this a 3-1. You might say in this occasion, then Chris, you are stupid if your trades are hitting that. First of all, I have more trades, way more trades than that, which are not hitting that. Okay, but for which I'm able to close partials. Second of all, if you are able to do it psychologically, go ahead and do it. Let your trades run. I cannot afford it psychologically. I cannot deal with it psychologically. And I'm being very open to you. I'm very, very successful just by doing that, closing partials. This doesn't mean that I'm closing the trade at 1-1 RR. This means I'm closing 50% here. Then I have more targets, guys. So it doesn't mean that I'm sacrificing this whole movement. I might close, let's say, the rest of it here. So I will close 2.8-1 plus a 0.5. It will give me a 3.3% instead of a 5.6. So I'm still getting those large moves. So these are the tips for me. They are tips for beginners, but also for more advanced traders. They will help you a lot, I believe. If you want to learn more about my exceptional trading strategy with full transparency, you can join my trading signals, or you can also book a one-on-one with me where I'm going to be showing you again the strategy that I'm trading with and the one that I'm using, of course, in the trading signals. It is the same strategy, and I will be providing you with a bunch of material to do your testing on your own. And until now, I have 0 dissatisfied customers. You can go ahead and read the comments for the one-on-one, also for the trading signals, the reviews that people have left me on WOP. And of course, the reviews are not manipulated, they are real people that you can interact with in the signals as well. Also, please subscribe to my channel for more free educational content. This is gonna do it for today, traders, and thank you all for watching. Until next time.